Welcome to all. I am Dr. Dharmendra presenting the session of cyanobacteria. In this session, we are going to study one of the member of cyanobacteria, that is spirulina. So before that, we will recall our memory of last class. In last class, we discussed about the occurrence, distribution, structure of filament and the cells of nostoc, and also we discussed about the reproduction types of nostoc. So in this session, we are going to study the spirulina with few objectives. They are studying of occurrence and distribution of spirulina, studying of structure of spirulina, studying of reproduction types, then studying of economic importance of spirulina. These are the objectives we will going to study in this session. So finally, at the end of the session, you will get the complete knowledge of spirulina, its distribution and the structure and reproductive methods, along with the economic importance. So economically, spirulina is very, very important. That we will discuss. So first, we will see the classification of spirulina. So spirulina is a member of cyanobacteria. So the class Cyanophyceae. It comes under order Nostochales and it belongs to family Oscillatoreaceae. So the genus is nothing but spirulina. Coming to the occurrence. So all the members of spirulina are aquatic in habit. So they are all living in water body. So usually the spirulina is a freshwater form. Usually they are freshwater form, but few species they are also growing in brackish water or the salt water. That means alkaline rich water you can cultivate or grow the spirulina. But generally the species are freshwater form. They are planktonic forms. They are unicellular planktonic forms found in the freshwater bodies like pond, pools, lakes, ditches, etc. etc. But few species are reported in brackish water and also they are found in high salt content water, that is salt water habitats. So spirulina is fully aquatic in habitat. So this is the occurrence. Then coming to the structure, it is a very simple plant body. The plant body is a filament. Filament is a unicellular. The plant body is filament, but filament is a unicellular. So the filament is single celled, that is unicellular, elongated, but it is spirally coiled or spirally twisted. That's why the name spirulina. That means the plant body is spirally coiled or spirally twisted. Spirally coiled or spirally twisted in a screw-like manner. Okay, there is no cross walls on the filament. It is a single cell. This single cell is spirally coiled or spirally twisted without cross walls. So that's why it is called single cellular algae. Then the length of the filament is varies from 300 to 500 micron, and also the width is 8 micron in nature. So the length of filament ranges from 300 to 500 micron. The width of the filament is very simple, 8 micron in nature. The plant body is simple, it is a filament, unicellular filament. Okay. Then coming to the structure. So the cell is a unicellular. This is the photograph of spirulina. It is a unicellular in nature and it is composed of two parts, that is cell wall and protoplasm. So the cell wall is the outermost layer which is made up of a substance, that is what we call murin. Cell wall is the outermost layer composed of the substance what we call murin. Then cell wall encloses the protoplasm. Again, the cell is a typical Cyanophycean cell. What we discussed in last talk, the same things present here. So, the protoplasm is present inside the cell wall, and this protoplasm is differentiated into two parts, that is chromoplasm and centroplasm. So, chromoplasm and centroplasm, they are the parts of protoplasm. What is chromoplasm? Yes, chromoplasm is a colored fluid. So, chromoplasm, it is a peripheral in nature, and this chromoplasm is colored in nature because of the presence of the pigments. The pigments are nothing but the phycobilisomes. Phycobilisomes, so not combs, phycobilisomes. They are nothing but the phycocyanin and phycoerythrin. Phycocyanin is the blue pigment and phycoerythrin, that is the red pigment. Along with these phycobilisomes, chlorophyll, carotenes are also present. So, because of the presence of these pigments, the chromoplasm, that is a marginal chromoplasm, is colored in nature. Then, along with these pigments, the chromoplasm also consists of reserve food material. The reserve food material is nothing but a Cyanophycean starch. Then the centroplasm is the centrally located. So, this centroplasm is present in anywhere on the cell. So, it is nothing but the incipient nucleus. It is nothing but incipient nucleus. Centroplasm is represented by the chromatin reticulum, that is DNA microfibrils, that is the genetic material of spirulina. So, centroplasm is incipient nucleus. So, very simple cell. Then the characteristic feature of spirulina is it shows the absence of sheath. The sheath, gelatinous sheath, is absent around the cell. But in nostoc, the gelatinous sheath is present around the filament. But in spirulina, it shows the absence of sheath. Okay. So, this is the structure of cell. Very simple plant body. Then coming to the reproduction. The only one type of reproduction so far reported, that is nothing but vegetative reproduction. Spirulina reproduces by only one method, that is what we call vegetative reproduction. So, vegetative reproduction takes place by means of fragmentation only. That is nothing but the breaking of filament into number of pieces. So, each piece has the capacity to develop into a new cell, that process what we call fragmentation, and it is the only method of reproduction what I have seen in spirulina. Okay. Then another very important topic of the session is economic importance. So, spirulina is economically very important. It is cultivated because of its food value. It is used as food. So, the spirulina is commonly called single cell protein. Look at the word, single cell protein. The spirulina is commonly called single cell protein. Why it is called single cell protein? It is a single cell and it is rich in proteins. It is rich in proteins. The content of protein is nothing but 60 to 70%. Of spirulina cell consists 60 to 70% of proteins. That is why it is commonly called single cell protein. So, it forms one of the diet protein, it acts as a protein source in our diet. Okay. Along with the protein, spirulina also consists numerous vitamins, amino acids, minerals, fibers, etc. etc. So, because of enrichment of these nutrients, spirulina is a good source of food. So, spirulina is consumed by the people throughout the world, especially in malnutrition countries. It fulfills the diet of human beings. Okay. So, it is rich in proteins, that is 60 to 70% proteins. Then along with this, spirulina also rich in beta carotene. Beta carotene, that is a precursor of vitamin A. It is the precursor of vitamin A. So spirulina provides the beta carotene. The beta carotene is converted into vitamin A. Vitamin A is very essential for the eyesight. So spirulina increases the milk production in pregnant ladies or in feeding mothers. So it increases lactation. That means it enhances the production of milk in feeding mothers. Okay. Then spirulina, it increases the instant energy. That's why it is consumed by the sports persons and other athletics. To get the instant energy, the spirulina is very helpful to provide the instant energy. And most important thing is the spirulina capsules are used by space travelers as their food source. Okay, these are few academic importance of spirulina. Then it is also a source of gamma-linolenic acid. Spirulina, it also a source of gamma-linolenic acid. This gamma-linolenic acid is very important. It reduces the body weight and it reduces the cholesterol, premenstrual stress, and it is very helpful in the proper functioning of immune system. Okay, so gamma-linolenic acid. Apart from the food industry, the spirulina also extensively used in cosmetic industries because of the presence of vitamins, carotenes, pigments. So it is very demanded in cosmetic industries. So you can find the spirulina shampoo, face creams, body lotions, wrinkle creams, lipsticks, and lotions, etc. etc. So biolipstick because of the presence of carotene pigments, it is used in the manufacture of biolipsticks. So spirulina is available in different trade names, in different forms. So you can find the spirulina products in these names. For example, Multinol, it is a multivitamin tablet. Pragan, again it is a capsule. Cynomil, Slimolina, you see Slimolina, it is a capsule meant for body weight loss. Then Miraculina, again it creates miracle, maybe. So for health and more energy. Then we have beta carotene tablets, it is the vitamin A tablets. We have ointment for natural healing, powder, cold cream, shampoo. Then natural energy source Inspira, Spirolact. So it is a combination of lactobacillus and spirulina. It is used as poultry feed supplement. Okay, these are the few trade names of spirulina products. Then look at some images of spirulina products available in the market. We have lip balm, chocolate, soap, shampoo, powder, etc. So lesson summary. In this session, we discussed the occurrence and distribution of spirulina, structure of cell, reproduction, and economic importance of spirulina. So few reference books quoted here. Then we will recall our memory by asking questions. The first question, spirulina is commonly known as biofertilizer, single cell protein, eukaryotic protein, biofuel. What is the answer? Yes, answer is option B, single cell protein. Then the major compound present in cell wall of spirulina, which is the compound? Option A, cellulose, option B, pectin, option C, murein, and option D, hemicellulose. So look at the question, they are asking major compound. So the major compound of spirulina cell wall is murein, that is option C. Then spirulina is reproduces by what method, that is a sexual method or vegetative method or all the above. So only one type of reproduction, that is nothing but vegetative reproduction. So answer is option C, vegetative reproduction. Then fourth question, biolipsticks are made from spirulina because of presence of what? Option A, murin in cell wall. Option B, colored pigments. Option C, starch. Option D, none of the above. So the answer is option B, colored pigments. Then lastly, name the cholesterol reducing fatty acid present in spirulina. So cholesterol reduce means body weight loss factor. That is nothing but option A, carboxylic acid. Option B, oleic acid. Option C, palmitic acid. Option D, gamma linolenic acid. Yes, the answer is option D, gamma linolenic acid. By this, we learned about the occurrence, structure, distribution, and also the economic importance of spirulina. Thank you very much.